Hello, and welcome to what's probably episode 8, but possibly episode 7 of the Brohammer Pod. I recorded one like a month ago, but I was sick, and I kind of forgot about it. So I'll probably post it before this one, but this is more relevant, and this one's about ATC, so this takes priority. I have with me today my team captain, the team captain of the Plague Rats, Will Taylor.
Hi
Will,
guys. Hello. I've been on the show before, once before. You remember episode 1, not too long ago. So we're here to talk about ATC 2018 today. We both just came back from it this weekend. It was a hell of a lot of fun. 3 days of intense wargaming with some of the best players around the country. Everybody from coast to coast kind of shows up to this one to compete, and the style of it is a little bit different from your normal match.
Yeah, so I'm going to roll back for a second. When we say everyone was there, everyone was there. Phil the Glacial Geek was there. Adam Abramowitz from The Best General, hung out with him a bunch. Reese Frankie from Frontline Gaming. Nick Nadavati. Who else? There's everybody.
The guys from Forge the Narrative, they were there. We played them. The guys who host the South Carolina GT that we went to not too long ago, they were there.
Juice and his boys from the Long War Network.
Yeah,
Keeping it icy.
Keeping it icy. Yo Dog. And Rob Baer was there from Spiky Bits. There was the big teams, Quality Control, Team Happy,
Beast Coast.
Beast Coast 2. I guess they fall under Beast Coast.
Yeah. Brohammer was there.
Yeah, we were there, but that's not that big of a deal.
We matter. We're cool.
So anyways, we wanted to kind of discuss what ATC is. It's a team tournament where there are 5 people on a team, and you pair up attackers and defenders, and there's a sub-game to the game that makes it more interesting than your normal game of 40k. You have a little bit more of intrigue, a little bit more studying that you have to do, and overall, it's a great, fun time.
Yeah, a cool thing about it is losing is not always bad. It's how you lose. Like, I would rather one of my teammates lose scoring like 30 points and losing by 1 or 2 points, so that way I can get a win and gain 20 points more than my opponent. Then we net come out ahead, even though we won one, lost one.
Exactly.
So there's a lot more strategy and a lot more layers involved, which is a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot.
Same here. And we are trying to make this a common thing. We go every year. I know back in the day, the old Florida group would go there every year, and we kind of adopted the tradition, and we go every year too.
This was personally my 3rd year. Some of our team members have been going for 5-6 years now, but for a majority of Brohammer, this was their 1st or 2nd year. But we had a good showing.
We did have a good showing. 5 teams. All of our regions were present. It was a very good turnout for us. But let's get into the elephant in the room. There was some controversy there this year. There always is a little bit of a tiff here and there, but this year we did have a big team disqualification. We're not going to get into too many of the details, but Team Happy, I'm sure you've heard, had a Phantom Plasma Pistol in their army that wasn't in their list, and it was used as snipe characters. And they also had Plastic Turtles, also known as Turtle Gate, for Rough Riders, and a 3 legal list on the team Quality Control. There was 4 Engine Seers, and as everybody knows, I guess it's not really beta rules, it's just rules in general.
Yeah, it's the big FAQ, so it's legit now.
Yeah, but you can't have 4 of something unless it's troops or dedicated transports.
Yeah.
So he had to take those out and fix his list, which made his list unoptimized.
Yeah, the only thing I really wanted to say, because you can hear pretty much everything you need to hear between Facebook, going on the Long Wars podcast, they covered it well. But the difference between Quality Control and Team Happy. So Quality Control, they missed that they had the 4th Engine Seer. The player felt terrible about it. The team captain said, "Tell us what you want us to do. We'll take the game loss. We'll take a round loss. We'll drop an entire battalion and play with a 1,400 point army to keep it fair moving forward." And Shane was like, "No, we'll get it taken care of." I think they ended up dropping an Onager Dunecrawler to make points for the Tech Priest to keep it legal, I think is what happened.
Yeah, they dropped the Onager and the Engine Seer to add a Tech Priest, which kind of miffed up the list real bad.
But that was their penalty. They took it on the chin. They were very cool about it. And then you have Team Happy, who they weren't outwardly argumentative. They did publicly handle it well. They left when they were asked to leave. Then I guess they came back after the round started to talk to the judge. But the aftermath is what bothered me. So both teams released statements afterwards. Quality Control just apologized. That was it.
And Team Happy made excuses.
Yeah, basically, we only cheated a little bit. Stop making it a big deal. And it was like, I forgot who I saw it, but it was like, man, I need to take 2 breaks and a lunch break to get through that thing. It was so long.
It's pretty rough. But either way, that didn't detract from the overall event. I actually had way more fun this year than I did last year, even with the controversy, even with the delays when it came to the pairings. This year was, for some reason, way more fun than last year. I don't know what it was, but it was.
The energy in the room, I think, was what did it. Everyone we were playing with was having a good time, aside from the couple small issues that came up, and I guess issues is a good word.
Yeah.
But aside from that, everything went smoothly. There's a lot of energy. People were having fun. A lot of beautiful armies. Mm-hmm. A lot of just camaraderie and joking around. Especially like, man, like I hung out with Adam Abramowitz and Reese a ton. And it was cool just being able to hang out with people who are kind of the face of Warhammer. They're in and about, and you see them all the time. You feel like you know these guys because you've listened to them and watched them for so long. Mm-hmm. And you're just drinking, having a good time, eating spiked gummy bears together.
Yeah, I mean, I got to do something that I've always wanted to do, which was meet Reese and Frankie. I've been watching them since I was in high school, and they kind of got me into committed to 40K, so it was kind of cool to meeting your 40K heroes. It was surreal. It was a really good time.
Yeah.
So anyways, we wanted to talk about how well our group did at the ATC. We had at least one team within the top 10, and that was John Lennon's team, the stupid name, Meh Plus. They got 8th place, which is really good. Then the next team that we had was our Gainesville contingent, Team Huckleberry.
Yeah, we recently absorbed them, and I'm glad we did because
they got 11th place,
which was pretty great.
They did really well. We've been playing against these guys for quite some time now. Aaron, Teddy, John, Mike,
and I can't remember the 5th guy. And I'm sorry, we're such
sorry.
jerks.
But they've come down to events. They've come all the way far from Gainesville all the way down to St. Pete.
Yep.
And if you're familiar with Florida, that's quite some drive, and yeah. They're just as big 40K fiends, and they're really fun to hang out with and play with, and I'm really happy that they did so well at ATC this year.
I got to take credit for Aaron doing well though, because I lost to him right before the event, okay, and then I also provided him with the Infinity Gauntlet that he was using to crush knights.
Word. So it was the Infinity Gauntlet.
The Infinity Gauntlet. He killed 2 knights in the same turn with the Infinity Gauntlet that I gave him. So I'm the one that did well.
And then the next team that did well was us. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, before we get to talking about us, because I love us.
Yeah, I love us too.
But Aaron and Mike from Huckleberry, Aaron got 41st place out of about 350 people, scoring 179 points, and I believe he went 5-1. So he did awesome. Mm-hmm. And then Mike got 28th. I didn't get the chance to see what his record was, but he scored 186 points.
He did really well.
Which is insane.
And Mike is known as kind of like a dark horse in our area. He's from Jacksonville, and he comes down every so often for big events. And I remember our first Crucible together, which was like a couple years ago, he came in and he wrecked face and he left. And it was surreal. He's a very good player.
And he's a great guy. He's a lot of fun to hang out with,
super
too.
Chill dude.
All of them are. Huckleberry has a really fun team. I like those guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we can talk about us.
We talk about us. We got 15th.
Yeah, we got 15th out of 74
teams, which I was super happy about that. And we can tout that we are the only undefeated Brohammer team with 2 wins and 4 draws.
Yeah, I don't know how we did it like that, but we did.
But we did, and we did it well.
Another couple cool things, and I'll go back to Meh Plus first, because they finished the highest. They had John Lennon got Best Gene Stealer Cult with 180 points, which is a ton of points scored, and he did it with technically Primary and Index Army. I mean, technically.
Technically.
So he got it on a technicality. Then Huckleberry, unfortunately, they didn't get any Best of Faction. I think they kind of spread the love around a little bit more throughout their team, because I saw at least 3 of their guys were in the top 50, top 60.
Yeah.
So they did well spreading the love. And then us, the Plague Rats, we had Jeff Beery. I know you heard about him from the GCWA. We talked to him. He scored 201 points, going 6-0, won Best Drukari, and that dude's just a machine.
He got 10th place too.
Yeah,
overall, out of 360 something players, 10th place, very good. He must have had a really good captain that gave him really good matchups. and then you.
Yeah, I did all right.
No, you did great. You got Best Demons.
Yeah, I got Best Chaos Demon, 6-0, 194 points.
16th place overall. Very good. Very well done. We can't forget Dave, the big man himself, the Mountain. Dave got Best Grey Knights. I can't remember what his placings were, but Dave got a Best of Faction as well. And then we'll move on into Sloths of War. That was our old team with Cass and Dan on it, Remy's on it, Reggie's on it, and John K is on it, and they got 19th place, which is really good. And then we have Ivrain Clown Posse, all of our newcomers. These guys are not ATC veterans. They all have their first year here. They did really well their first day. They flew super close to the sun, and it eventually started biting them in the ass, and they've got a 45th place, but Ryan got 15th place overall, and he got Best Harlequins.
Yeah, he edged me out 1 place in the rankings, and by 1 point. He got 195 points, took 15th place, which is outstanding. Ryan's played for less than a year.
He's been playing for like 4 months.
Yeah.
And he's super analytical. He's very smart, and he looks at the game differently from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he plays like a beast, and his only loss was to 100 Fire Warriors.
Yeah.
100 Fire Warriors.
Which is the most random thing
to lose against, but 100 Fire Warriors and Dark Strider. So watch out for Dark Strider.
And that's because he didn't know what Dark Strider did. And we're not going to tell you. You got to figure that out.
Yeah. So that was everything from our teams. We did fairly well. We were head of the pack. We got a bunch of Best in Faction. Very proud of all of our individual scores, our team scores, and what we did, and I'm looking forward to our next year.
Yeah, I do want to slip in one more shout out to Tom. So Tom, I think I was literally painting finishing touches on his army the night before we left. So he didn't get the chance to play but one game, a practice game with Knights.
Yep.
He goes out there, wins his first 2, then his 2 of his 3 losses were a combined 5 points.
Yep.
One, he lost by a single point, which there's some stuff that could have happened and it might have swung it. And then the other one, he lost by 4 points.
And that game was rushed because they only made it to the third turn.
Yep.
And the judges were going to say, if you don't make it to the 4th, you get 0 points. So, but overall, I mean, we're super proud of Tom. I was going to talk about how well he did in these matches and like how surprised I was. Do you want to get into our games?
Yeah, we can get into the games a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot of games that we could talk about, but I'm going to just give a highlight of one of mine, and then whatever you
I was just going to do summary, so go ahead with you.
So, probably, I had a bunch of good games. I fought Necrons a couple times, fought some beautiful armies, Tyranids, but my favorite game was against my last opponent, Justin. I cannot say
his last name is really hard. It's Pissofarita, I do believe, is how you say it. Hold on, I'll look it up right now.
I hope that's how you say
Justin's a really cool guy. We played him last year. He got lucky because he was going to be on deployment, and he got lucky that he was moving from one place to another, so he was able to take his vacation time off, and he made it to ATC. I was super shocked he was going to be there because he's a friend of Carter's, and I asked him if he was going to be at ATC, and Carter's like, oh, no, he's deployed or whatever. And I walked by and I was like, oh, Justin, how are you doing? I'm so glad you're here. And it turns out we play him last game of the last day, just like last year.
Yep. And so a funny thing about it, too, is we thought we were going to play against him, so I was looking at the pairings, and I was like, I mean, I know what that list is doing. He's playing Sisters and he's playing Admech, but he has an auxiliary detachment with Sakaran infiltrators. I'm like, what? Why? Like, I have no idea what he's got these things in here for. And he's running Sisters, and fortunately, Aaron and I have had a couple good games with Sisters of Battle, so I knew exactly what to expect. And I have Nurglings, so I start out ahead in that matchup. So I got the opportunity to take it, and So I zoned him out, did everything I needed to do. Before the game started, I was like, "Hey, why'd you bring those infiltrators?" He's like, "Oh, if I did it this way, then it kept me as Sisters Primary, and I just wanted to be best Sisters. I wanted to be Sisters Primary for the event." What he forgot to mention was that those current infiltrators get about 1 million shots, and they're Mars, so they get to use the stratagem for mortal wounds.
They put up 1,000,000,000 shots.
But fortunately, it didn't bite me too hard. I was able to pull cultists until I was out of line of sight of all of his other army. So I had about 7 cultists left, so I was able to come back. But it was a great game. It was super close. I won by, I think, 9 points.
Yeah, it was 9.
When, with how the lists were written, I probably could have won by more. But again, Justin played it
super well, outstanding.
Like, yes. I was so impressed, and I knew it was going to be a tough game because Justin's such a good opponent.
Yes, he is.
Did you figure out how to
Piso Ferrado?
So Justin, hopefully we got your name right. If not, I doubt you're listening anyway. So,
so let me give a little summary of our games. The game one, we were paired against the Barnyard Brawlers, which is a team that is led by Alan Blakenbrough, I do believe is how you say his last name. Alan runs the South Carolina GT, which is a new GT. He's trying to make it a series where you do one game every quarter, and the person who wins overall gets a big prize thing. The thing about these GTs is they pay out a ton. I mean, we're talking crazy, like $4,000 in prize support for everybody that's in the brackets. They do a bracket system, which is very interesting. And the guy is very nice, and the venue was pretty fun. That was where I got to meet, the Glacial Geek. I had a great time there. That was when I was, dying of Nurgle rot.
Yeah.
But so we played against them. I lost, but we won overall. And this was when we noticed Tom just popping off. He was playing right next to me. I looked over. He had a bunch of knights left. There was barely anything on the table. And we asked him how he did after he won. He was like, "Oh, yeah, I caged up, and then I walked up, and I just started punching stuff." I was like, "Tom, that's really good. That's great." We go into game 2, which is against 40K United. And they are a new club as well. The captain had only been playing for 11 months. They're located in the Missouri area, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep, they were the St. Louis team. Because I remember I made fun of one of their players because the Rams left St. Louis.
Anyways, and they are sponsored by Miniature Market, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, I was so jealous of them.
Yeah,
That's
same
so
here.
Awesome.
He was telling us all the benefits of it. It was really nice. And they are running a GT up there as well. I don't have the handout that they gave us. However, if you look up Siege World, that is the GT, and I think it's happening within the next couple of months. In fact, Dan found the little flyer here. The GT is going to be on August 25th and 26th in St. Louis, Missouri. Just Google Siege World 2018, and you should be able to get information on it.
Yeah, and that is gatewaygamers.com is their website. So I just did some homework for you.
But yeah, this was the only team that I got a win on. I played against the AdMech player, who was their team captain. I got a lucky seize, and I killed a Castellan and a squad of Castellan robots in one turn. And it got really good for me. But the end of that round, we had won. So going into game 3, which was the next morning, we played against Mike Walsh's team, which is Endless Wargaming. I played against Dark Eldar. I lost. This is going to be a theme. I lost most of my games over the weekend. I started to notice that both mine and our Necron players' lists were not really built for ATC, and so we started diving on grenades in order to feed better matchups for Dan and Jeff so that they could score us more points. Yeah. And Tom became our pivot man and was either losing very small, or he was getting crazy not crazy blowouts, but he was getting us points, and he was getting us out of that draw range.
Yeah. So unfortunately, kind of the way it happened is Jeff and I would score big, then Will Kill and Will would just try to give up the least amount of points possible. But it kind of came down to how many points Tom could grind out for us. And that's kind of what led to us getting all these draws. Because Tom was able to either win or lose by like 1 or 2 points. But kind of all the work we did offset, so whatever Tom's differential was ended up being like the team differential.
Yeah.
So when we figured it out, it worked out that we were not going to lose. We knew that we had a good system set up to where we're not going to lose the round.
But we weren't going to win the round
But
either,
it made
unless
it so-
I was able to pull something out my butt, which, spoiler alert, did not happen this weekend.
Yep.
So game 4, we played against the Kamikazes, and this was right after all the drama that happened. They had just got done playing against Team Happy, and they were not happy at all. They were team unhappy at that point in time.
But I will say, Kamikazes, they were bros about it.
They were really nice.
They were obviously not the happiest people about the situation, everything that was going on.
But they didn't bring him to the game.
Yeah, it didn't come into the game. Actually, I can't remember his name, but Will Kill was playing against him. He was their Harlequin player.
Yeah.
I was giving him so much trouble for playing elves. I was like, bro, just so you know, I kind of hate you, but you seem like a good dude, so I respect you.
Yeah.
So for like the entire tournament, like if a question came up, they'd ask our table. I'd give him a heads up. He's like, I respect you, bro. I don't like you because you're playing Chaos, but I respect you. So that was kind of the feel of the whole weekend. Was there was a lot of good energy like that. A lot of people having fun, hanging out, understanding like we are here to have a good time, so let's share a beer, let's joke around and
Let's
keep
enjoy
it going.
ourselves. Yeah, we paid a lot of money to be out here. So we ended up drawing that one again. And then we played against All About the Captain, which is Carter Leach's team. One of the, I wouldn't say he's local, but we play against him a lot. He lives up in Pensacola.
He's farther from us than like most states are from each other.
Yes. And yet we run into him all the time. That one was also a draw. I played against their AdMac player, and I don't know what happened. My dice turned off so hard, and he just absolutely smacked me around real bad. I ended the game with a Kage Fireblade, an Ethereal, a Pathfinder, Darkstrider, and 5 Pathfinders on the table. That was turn 6.
Yeah. So that one I enjoyed a lot too. I played against Jeff, their Chaos player.
Yeah, it was a Chaos
And-
Mirror match, but not really.
So Jeff's wife was hanging out.
Oh,
and-
this is the
So-
gummy right there.
So at one point, she's got some gummy bears that may or may not have been soaking in moonshine for like a week. But so we're hanging out, we're having a good time. It's swinging in my favor a little bit, but I've got a really pivotal turn coming up, and his wife just like looks at me and is like, "Eye the Tiger's playing in your head right now, isn't it?" Just caught me off guard. So I'm still moving pieces, and we kind of laughed about it. And then I hear like her phone slowly turning up, and it's just like bump.
Really?
Yeah, it started
know
going.
that.
So it's like we're just laughing, having a good time, and they're fairly intoxicated. So, they don't care. They're going crazy. So after I finish up that game, Reese wanders by with his porno stash.
Yep.
So we're joking about mustaches and beards and possibly partaking in some gummy bears. Quite a few. So it was a good time. Alcohol was officially not allowed there, so I don't want to get
Well, I don't know if it wasn't officially, but like you couldn't have it in containers. It was a weird thing.
They were given permission to have alcohol on the premise, but the venue had to be selling alcohol for it to be allowed.
Oh, okay.
And they don't carry a liquor license. So technically, we were allowed to have it, but only if we bought it, and they weren't allowed to sell it.
Was that FAQ'd?
That was in one of the FAQs.
Was that a judge ruling?
I think it was.
Okay. Anyways, so we ended the game, the day with 2 wins and 3 draws. Yep. So we were the only undefeated Brohammer team, but on technicality.
Yeah.
So we go into day 3, and there's some delays because of the DQ. We ended up playing against the Wrong Way Kids. And I did not realize until after the game that I was playing against Paul Murphy, who hosts Forge the Narrative. And I was playing next to Ricky, who was on Forge the Narrative. And I listen to these guys all the time. Whenever, they put out a new podcast and it's, doing a breakdown on a new codex. And I started, once again, fangirling after my match was over, after Paul Murphy had handled me thoroughly. But they were really cool guys. And we ended up pulling out a draw there. And so we went 2 wins and 4 draws and ended up in 15th place, which was really awesome. From this weekend, what I took away was hordes are in, especially when it comes to missions that are so reliant on holding objectives and not getting blown off the table and just staying there and staying put and being durable. Was there anything that you, by any chance, learned over this weekend?
I learned that there are some really fun lists out there that I like beating. the Tesseract Vault list. Oh, yeah. I mean, I heard so many people like scared of that list. It's intimidating. It's the big baddie. Necrons have a thing. They've got a shenanigan.
T7, 28 wounds with a 3-up invul save. Oh, it's T8?
Yeah, it's T8.
Oh, wow. Puts out 60 shots and a bunch of mortal wounds. Like, this is the big bad boogeyman. That's what I've heard it referred to.
I'm playing Chaos. So I Death Hex one, blow it up, charge the other one with my Plague Flies, hit it with a Doom Bolt, degrade it down so it has a 2-inch movement.
Yeah.
So it can't fall back.
Yeah.
And then it only gets to use 1 power. So like that was that list. I was horrified for about half a turn because he went first. I did not seize on him. And he almost killed Ahriman, but he rolled a 4 instead of like the 5-up. Ahriman just disappears.
Oh, right.
But he rolls a 4, rerolls it into a 4, and then dude had some terrible luck. So there's one where you get to roll a die for every single model in the unit. On the 5-up, takes a mortal wound.
Yeah.
I got 40 cultists. So he hit me with that thing twice. I lost 12 cultists.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
He rolled 10 on the first go, and I was like,
oh, jeez.
I'm screwed. I am so screwed. Then he rolls his next, I guess at that point, 30, and only 2 5+s out of all of them. And I was just like, all right, I guess I'm not going to lose these cultists. So, of course, I Tide traded them out of the way, threw my Plague Flies up, and that was that. Great opponent, though. That was Colin.
Yeah, he was super nice. He was on 40K United. Super cool guy.
He was definitely the nicest opponent. Not that I had a negative experience or any bad experience.
No, but he was definitely
yeah, if I had to give out a sportsmanship award, it's to him. I mean, at the beginning of the game, all weekend, I would tell my opponents, hey, this is what I consider cock die. I don't like to be that guy. I don't want to be people. I'm not going to drop
people.
But I don't want to be the dude that has a gotcha moment at the end of your movement phase or anything like that.
Yeah.
So we talked it over. And I think in my first turn, I forgot to do something. It was small. I don't remember, but he was like, yeah, go ahead, man. Like, we talked about it beforehand. Then at one point, I think he did something out of sequence. I mean, so, like, mistakes happen, but he was absolutely all over, like, hey, we talked about it. We're playing intent. We're playing dice haven't rolled. Go back. Like, he was 100% invested into that with me, which it takes so much stress out of the game, and that's when I really have fun. And, I mean, he's laughing, having a good time. I blow up, 1,000 points of his army on my turn 1, and he's complimenting me like, man, that's so cool. Like, I love what your list is doing. It's really neat to watch. Like, I'm tabling this dude, and he's happy about it. Like, it was just
having a good time.
Such a good experience and a lot of fun. So I definitely want to give Colin a shout out for that.
Right on. So there's a few things that we saw that will probably end up being meta soon.
I'm building one of these lists too, boy.
Which one are you building?
Oh, you talk about him first, and then I'll
Well, I was going to say,
there's
the Nana special, which I know most Elder players are already playing anyways. There's the Million Demon list that's got, 30 Plague Bearers, 30 Zangors, 30 Bloodletters, 120 cultists, like a million bodies.
I own all of that, and I'm getting 30 Bloodletters.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you are.
But I'm not touching that. I'm not playing that list. That's not fun.
There's the Castellan special, which is the Raven Castellan with a bunch of IG, potentially Smash Captain. I don't really know. You can kind of plug and play different things.
Yeah. The most popular archetype was 6 Artemis Hellhounds.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Probably, I think it was 6 of the other tank.
No, they didn't take the Conquerors.
No, the Manicore batteries or the...
No, Basilisk.
Basilisk, okay. Yeah. I don't play guard. I knew it was one of the shooty tanks.
Yeah.
But it was like 6 of those, 6 of the Hellhounds, and then Castellan. And then fill in with bodies.
Yeah.
And CP farm.
That's right. So that was a thing that we saw a bunch. This was my favorite. I think it was Nick Rose's Nid list. I haven't shut up about this thing since I've seen it because it used 90 Homergons, which are one of my favorite units. It used a bunch of Zoanthropes, which are one of my favorite units, and it did so well. That team actually had like 1,200 bodies on all 5 tables, and they had a 6th guy running around just moving bodies for people so that they weren't being accused of slow play, which I really liked.
I have a little bit of a problem with that, but I'm not going to get into it.
I love it. Oh, the helper. Whatever.
Yeah, just it wasn't outlined in the rules, so it's a competitive advantage for the team. Because like if I had someone moving models for me, I could have absolutely brought 240 cultists and
Move my models, peasant.
like. So to me, it's a little bit of a competitive advantage.
Whatever.
I don't love it, but obviously the rules didn't say you couldn't do it. So
There was the triple tiger shark list, which I really liked, but I will never run it because I do not have that kind of disposable income.
yeah.
There was also the Dark Eldar Harlequin combo, which I thought was really cool. You know, a bunch of Star Weavers, a bunch of Grotesques. It was interesting. So
You skipped the best one.
which one was
My
the best
favorite one.
Which one was your favorite one?
The Electro Priest and the Termite Assault Drills.
Oh boy, this was the sleeper hit. I was not expecting this one at all.
And so even those lists, I don't think got it all the way right because those Sikaran infiltrators are
They're also sleepers, yeah.
They're so good. They're what the Castellan robots do. The infiltrators do for like a third of the points, and they can move. They're so much better.
But yeah, the Electro Priest, man, you take a Styges Electro Priest, you put him in a Termite, you infiltrate the Termite blows up, they all get out, and then they charge like a Ranger unit or a Scout unit or whatever, blow it up, go to a 3-up invul save, pay a command point, go to a 2-up invul save, and shoot mortal wounds everywhere. It was a surprise, because nobody down here plays it, and it caught me definitely off guard twice.
Yeah. I got to fight against he wasn't in the Termites, but he had the 20 Electro Priests.
Right.
But
yeah, you turn off the invul save, and it doesn't even matter. But
So-
for people who have to shoot bullets at people, it's very difficult. It's not easy.
Will is salty. He's not participating in the psychic phase. So.
Yeah, Tau is getting benched, and anybody who knows me knows that I've been playing Tau since I was like 16 years old.
Yeah, he's literally wearing a Tau shirt as
right
we're
now.
recording.
Yeah, exactly. But they're getting benched. I'm playing Guard and I'm playing Nids, and I won't be visiting Tau for a while. I actually have three lists in the works right now, which Guard, Nids, and Tau. But Tau's at the very ass end.
Well, when I have my AdMech list, if you want to play Chaos and win some games, let me know.
I actually really want to play the Zangor list. I love it. It's so cool. Zangors and pink horrors and all that crap, man. It's super cool.
I've got it, and the Shaman are painted already, and I got the Demon Princes.
I know. I can play that right now.
I have 2 Araman on disc right now, and I'm getting a 3rd. So,
anyways, so let's. I wanted to wrap this up by talking about the good and the bad of the event, and what they could do to improve if Shane is somehow listening to this. The good is the essence of ATC is still there. The pairings are really fun to do. The overall style of the event is really fun. The venue is nice. You know, there's a lot that's going with it, but there could have been a few changes. They could have not used the Best Coast pairing app. I know that a week before the event happened, they finally got the team setting in it, and there was a lot wrong with it, especially when it came to draws. And I was intimately familiar with how draws worked.
As a team captain who had to deal with 4 draws.
It was really kind of chaotic because the way that they wanted to score a draw and the way that the app wanted to score a draw was completely different. And if a captain did not catch it, they were getting an L. And I wanted to fight for all the points that my team earned. So definitely don't use an app that's only been using that function for a week
for the biggest tournament
in America, other than Adepticon.
I think besides
Adepticon's bigger,
right? But team tournament, I think ETC might be the only one that even competes.
But they don't use the app.
Okay.
They don't. I saw a picture of how they do pairings. It's paper.
That was kind of funny.
Yeah, and when it came to the dealing with people who were doing infractions, you know, slow playing, the illegal models, all that kind of stuff, it really would have behooved them to have been more clairvoyant in their decision making and what was actually going to be done, because just telling people, oh, they're going to get a penalty, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, and being very vague, it doesn't help quell the masses. So there was plenty of people after they had talked to all the captains that were still kind of like, what was done? What is going to change? These guys are already still in the top 3. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know?
If the big complaint was Along was caught cheating by Juice, whatever.
But he didn't report it because he thought he was going to stop.
Because and the situation, as I was listening to this podcast, was literally he was like, "Hey man," it's actually rewinding a little bit. He has a policy because
nobody
buys plasma pistols. I love this too. It's brilliant. He just checks the list, doesn't ask the opponent or anything. Just checks the list to make sure everything's kosher. If it's not on there, hey bro, just so you know, it's not on there. If it is, it is. If not, he'll say something, and usually, oh, I'm sorry, it goes away. Well, I guess he was a little suspicious because he knows A-Long's history, so he's like, if I talk to Frankie about this, like, you didn't use plasma pistols against Frankie, right? Because I guess they had played Frontline Gaming earlier.
They were the first match.
So A-Long was like, no, I just messed up. I forgot in this game. So Juice didn't go and report it immediately because he was trusting A-Long.
Yep.
But I guess in passing, he ran into Frankie and asked Frankie about it, and that's when
things started rolling downhill.
Yeah.
So, but it would have just been nice if they had acted a little bit more quickly and a little bit more clearly.
Right.
But that being said, I mean, we mentioned this earlier. This was the best year that at least I have had.
Yeah. Oh, I had a blast, and not just because I did so well. Like, there's a lot besides winning. Like, that was part of the weekend, but that wasn't even the primary thing going on that weekend.
Yeah, well,
like,
I did garbage and I had a great time.
Right, but what I mean is, even though I'm doing well and I'm playing these games, my focus wasn't just, oh, how am I going to win the next game?
Right.
I think Saturday night when I was 5-0, that was my thought because
yeah.
I wanted that perfect ATC.
Yep.
But all before that, it was more hanging out with the guys, checking on everyone, seeing how they're doing,
praising
socializing.
Tom.
Yeah, getting hyped for Tom. Tom was kicking ass.
It was so good.
So there's just a lot of positive energy. I keep saying that, but again, it was
a great time.
A ton of fun.
We're definitely going to end up back there next year, and some of us are looking forward to our next big event, which is going to be DACACon in St. Pete.
Just bought my ticket today.
I won't be able to go.
Oh, well.
But then after that, we're looking at Crucible in October. I'm hopefully going to try to go to Warzone Atlanta in November if I
that
get
one ain't happening.
Ticket.
I'm locked into the state. The wife's not letting me leave the state the rest of the year.
And then we're going to finish out the season with LVO. John Lennon's going. I do believe Richard Martin in our group is going to go. And I just actually read Remy got his okay, so if he can get a ticket, he's going to go, and we're going to have a showing there.
Is Jeff going?
No, I don't think he can. I think he is
school. That's
yeah,
back
I think
in
it's
school.
Yep, it's school time. So if only, man, if he could go there,
he'd hit top 8 with how he's been playing.
We're gonna stop having a mouthful of Jeff.
Dude, I'm hype on Jeff.
Yeah, but I'm good, man.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all listening. This one was a little bit longer, but again, I messed up getting the last one out, and then we were doing ATC prep and everything. So it's been crazy.
It has been a crazy time.
But I'm going to hopefully be more consistent. Probably around DACACon, I'm going to try to do a pre-DACACon, getting my list ready, telling y'all what I'm going to run, stuff like that. But getting ready for GT it takes a lot of effort.
It does. And, having a life and all that other jazz, it is what it is.
Yeah,
so.
I barely have one of those, but every once in a while, I got to make sure the wife's happy.
Right on.
But, all right, bros. Appreciate y'all listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.